Many first dates after high school, I met a girl named Josephine. And Josephine had never met a blouse low cut enough to suit her needs, a scam she couldn't improve upon, or a pocket that she couldn't pick. A few years back, my phone woke me with a call from Josephine at 4:15 a.m. I pick up the phone and I say no with great sincerity. However, she's already started in on the monologue portion of her scheme. By the time I'd woken up enough to follow the logic, I heard her say, "The police are closing in. They have my prints on file, matched them to the gun, so I need capital to pay for an attorney." "How much cash are we talking?" I ask. "I would love $250,000, she says, so I hang up. And back she calls, and she starts in again. "You didn't let me finish," she says in that husky voice that brings me to rapt attention. "I just want your help in netting all that cash. You get the same amount if we're successful." And so then I was intrigued. Her plan involved a swanky club in wooded and serene Connecticut, a club whose common room held court to careless, moneyed gentlemen with great enthusiasm for expensive wagers. Josephine said this scam was tailored to the dramatic skills I'd honed in school. I was unemployed and bored at that point, so I figured, what the hell? We left that afternoon. I changed into a ritzy outfit in the car. Once at the club, she took the lead. I meditated in the men's room, shifting my behavior and my personality into a drunken old boy swagger. I made my way to one round table circled by 6 comfy armchairs. Josephine had draped herself already on a huge, crew-sweatered man. I said, "So sorry to intrude, but I was trying to find out how much the Jets are up." "The Jets aren't up," the fatty athlete said. "They can't play football." "I know, man. That's why I'm drinking." "Why?" Said, "You have some money riding on that game?" "There is no right answer to that question," I said. "Not in this club." "I bet a little on the Jets, just a token." "Coward," he said. "No, I'm just realistic with the team I love. A little for them out of sympathy, or a little bit against them, and I'm not a traitor. Where I will put money, honest money," I said, swagger now intensifying, "is on some sport I know not a thing about, where I'm completely clueless, gut instinct, like women's basketball." "It's out of season," he said. "So you see how much I know. How about canoeing?" "That's not on cable. You don't bet canoeing." "Fine. The Jets are down. I'm drunk. I wager $500,000 greenbacks from my pocket in a check to split between you all, gents, on whatever sports-related challenge that the next one of you utters. If I'm right, you pay me $500,000. All of you together." "Bullshit," they said in a single voice. "Write the check." "Okay," I said. "I'm writing out a check for $500,000 with no name. Now you all gotta write your checks where I can see them too." Imaginary vodka really flooded through my veins now. My hand shivered as I scribbled numerals my bank account had never dreamed of. My small audience was scared, but proud, but drunk, but interested. We each wrote out our checks. "The first sports bet you all can throw my way," I said. "Hey, acting." "Ha!" This came from Josephine, who dangled fetchingly on someone's lap. "Ha! Acting is a sport. Acting in theater." They all stared back at her like she was splintered down the middle. My bottom lip danced with precarious aplomb against the downward tug of gravity. Acting isn't sports," I said with fever. They all began to laugh, one at a crusty time. They laughed at me, they laughed at her, they stuffed their checkbooks back inside their coats. "Looks like tonight is on the house. Big man's paying for my cab ride home." "It's not a sport," I said again. "It is," they said as one. They laughed. She said, "It is, it is." They slapped their sweaty palms together. "You made the bet. You gave the word." They smiled with glee and all fell silent. Predatory glances on me, sleeves inched up as muscles flexed. "We're all men of our word. Here we respect the honor code." "You, my friend, you," said Josephine to me, with pinching cruelty. "You must recite," and she laughed, "a monologue, the whole thing, from whatever play I choose, whatever play." "You're gonna let her do this to me?" I appealed to sweaty, hungry, overstuffed Goliath. "Don't run away," they said, "unless you leave the check." "You, sir," said Josephine to me, "you must recite the first speech, man, from Shakespeare's," and they howled, "from Shakespeare's Richard III, Richard III, the first speech in the first act." They all broke out cackling scandalously. One guy's whiskey sour just shattered in his hand. The livid, raunchy mess of them curled up in hysterics. "You've got to do it," Josephine said, almost unable to speak out between the tremors of her giggling comic frenzy in just 60 seconds. 60 seconds. The crowd laughed far above my auditory range. I did fret suddenly. I worried that perhaps Josephine had misjudged the situation or betrayed me as revenge for my past mockery of all her crackpot schemes. Perhaps I was mere seconds from mauling at the hands of human bulldogs on their precious turf. But she'd said Richard III, first act, first speech. She gave me 60 seconds. I breathed extra deep, and someone clicked his watch. I stared down at the man whose lap played host to Josephine and said, "I don't like the position you've put me in, but I should tell you that now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the sun of York, and all the clouds loud upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now our brows bound with victorious breeze, our breaths on from monument, and stir alarm of Shakespeare, reaching swiftful marches to lifeless measures. Grim visage war, smooth drinking fun, now instead of mounted Barbara Steeds, fret the soul's fearful adversary, escaped from the latest chambers, the lascivious pleasing of blue, but I am not safe from sport tricks to mid-court numbers, looking glass. I didn't really stamped on what love's magic struck before one time, like I'm curtailed this third portion, cheated featured by dissembling nature, deformed, not finished set before my time with the breathing world, scarce happening up in this lamely fashion with dogs barking when I help by them, why I am the sweet pipe and time beast, not alike passed by the time, and listening to my shadow in the sun, descant my own deformity, and therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, to entertain these fair well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the out pleasure of these days, plots by late inductions, dangerous by drunken prophecies, libels and dreams, placed my brother Clarence, and the king and deadly hate the one against the other, and if King Edward prove his true injustice, I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence closely be up about a prophecy which says that G. Edward the murder shall be, die thoughts down to my soul, here Clarence comes. The watch clicked off. According to the wall clock, I had finished with 9 seconds left to spare, and I was greeted by much heavy breathing and some bitter looks. But Josephine played up her part with admirable intensity. "Who the hell are you?" Her huge friend said, "You missed the line about the horse," but Josephine reluctantly gave way and handed me her check. And after that, the rest of them had little choice. When liquor and unthinking pride butt heads, the consequences tend to be expensive. They knew I was underhanded, but our victims did not smell conspiracy. A dumb broad lost their cash, and by tomorrow, they might very well forget. But we moved fast. I collected checks and narrowly escaped a showdown with the club's executor. Josephine and I left separately. She fell out of the woman's bathroom window, and I caught her, and we kissed. But that was habit or mistake, and I vowed never to let our lips interact again. The drive back was lovely and surreal. Halfway home, my cell phone rang. The club invited me to join. Josephine laughed till she passed out. The bumper on the car in front of us had one large faded sticker, and I talked back to bumper stickers. I rolled down the window, and I shouted at that car in front, "Jesus may be your co-pilot, but Shakespeare is my wingman."